Yes. Well, welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners for Tuesday, September the 3rd. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna call to order the meeting and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve the regular agenda? Motion by Commissioner Hall, got a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Lovin. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, public comments. Mr. Brewer.
My name is Thad Brewer, and I live at 1761 Rayford Road, Southport, North Carolina. I'm here tonight because of a concern I have of the cleaning of a lot across the street from where I live. A culvert was put in, and many trees were cut down, and they were shredded, so there's no evidence. Several loads of dirt, I don't know how many yards, probably 100 yards of dirt was brought in, and then it was spread out. Having been in the construction business, it appeared to me that the grade of the lot was not suitable for the construction of a home. You understand what I'm talking about? I checked with the city permit technicians, I don't see them, and the zoning technician, and advised them of what I saw and asked them if they would check into it. There were no building permits issued, no culvert permits issued, no tree cutting permits issued. That's 3 fines at least. And so that they took care of that business for me. Boiling Spring Lakes is a nice place. And it's a sanctuary. And that's one of the reasons I moved here. I'm from Mississippi and go way back. Global warming, I'm going to change the subject a little bit, is a hot topic these days, and there's no pun intended there. But did you know that trees in rainforests in this country make up 20%, 28% of the oxygen that we breathe every day? Okay, I got a point. Did you know that a mature tree can produce up to 100,000 liters of oxygen per year? Now, how much is 100,000 liters of oxygen? Well, about 274 liters is about half per day, is about half of what it takes us to live, to breathe. We breathe in this oxygen, and that's what nourishes our blood so we can keep on breathing. Did you know that oxygen is made through a term called photosynthesis? Some of you do, some of you don't. That's where sunlight takes carbon dioxide. Now, I know all of you got carbon dioxide heaters in your house, should have anyhow. Is a process which sunlight takes and filters through foliage, leaves, and converts the carbon dioxide and water to oxygen. And that's trees help make that possible. Did you know that 1 acre of mature trees can produce enough oxygen to sustain life for 18 people for a year? That's a lot. 1 acre of mature trees can sustain life if it's there with oxygen for 18 people for a year. So we clear land and build a subdivision, cutting our supply of oxygen and creating a hot spot. That has the average, it has an average of 7 degrees above what an increase in temperature over the canopy of what it was if it had been trees. So you cut when they built this place and it was all trees, it was 70 degrees. When they built all this, it's 77 degrees. That makes sense to anybody. In a nutshell, it's one major contributor to global warming. And in my opinion, everybody's got one. If the trend continues, in 50 years or less, I predict, now my name's not John Kerry, but I predict that most people will be wearing some type of breathing apparatus. There are places in the world they already breathe them because of the air. The city permit technician and the zoning technician, they did their job and had a stop work order placed on the property, which I appreciate. And they had somebody come up there and tear out the illegal culvert that had been put in. I mean, no gravel, no grade, no nothing. It had already filled up with sand. So I thank them for that. And I thank you guys for my time that you've given me to vent on global warming. And I hope that I've given some of you food for thought the next time they approve a building permit on a lot that's really unbuildable. Thank you.
AOC said we only have 2 years left anyway. What's the difference? Okay.
I have been doing some homework based on a comment that I heard at last month's meeting when I was asking about drainage ditch maintenance. And I asked if we are acting at BSL as a proactive town with regard to ditch maintenance or a reactive town to ditch maintenance. City Manager Hargrove answered that we are acting reactively today in hopes of changing that in 2025, which led me to doing a little bit of research historically. I have lived here only since 2021. So I've been going back through our ordinances in meeting minutes and just have some questions with regard to what I'm finding. One on a stormwater plan, which would yield to ditch maintenance. August 2018, BSL awards Suncoast to develop a stormwater plan. May 2021, Suncoast presents Stormwater Management Master Plan to BSL with recommendations. May 21. January 2022, Board of Commissioners motion to adopt Suncoast Plan, carried 5-0. August 2022, Golden Leaf grants BSL $250,000 to execute stormwater plan originated by Suncoast. November 2022, August to November, Board of Commissioners motions to adopt project Holly, Redwood, Walnut, and Golden Leaf based on the Suncoast Plan. Again, 5-0 carried. January 24, we went from November 22 to January 24. Mayor asks the Board of Commissioners if the city officially adopted the stormwater plan. You all voted yes, 5-0 in August and November of 2022. So the question in January 2024 is slightly peculiar to me. April 24, Mayor suggests it doesn't make sense to keep repairing roads if stormwater is not corrected. What happened to the adoption plan on the Suncoast Plan for stormwater management? So understanding that would be very curious for me. Moving on from there, going back to what I mentioned when we have a $250,000 grant from Golden Leaf issued in August of 2022. Unspent as near as I can tell. I couldn't find anything on that, but I'd love to know. September 2022, Board of Commissioners scraps the Suchak project to change emphasis to ditch cleaning. They were going to apply for another grant. Move on from September 2022 to March 23, Board of Commissioners drops ditch maintenance and easement plan due to lack of documentation to support the request. Why is there a lack of documentation? It's a huge problem in this marsh flood zone. Why don't we have that documentation? Go one more year out, May 2024. BOC not optimistic for Trevino project due to lack of documentation, evidence detailing roads being overtopped by stormwaters. Why? Do we not have enough volunteers to create this documentation? It's a clear problem. We all, I'm sure, are dealing with flooding here. Of course, we had Hurricane Florence in 2018. by the way, not having documentation, we have the whole Suncoast study. So to me, that seems to be a good launch pad or springboard towards documentation. Are we using that? Do we intend to use that? May 2024, as for approved Holly Walnut plan, they have one bid received at $1 million with no BSL funds, and it's under discussion with Golden Leaf. Where is that now? Have we used that $250,000 from Golden Leaf? Are we applying for anything else with Golden Leaf? I read on another thing that Golden Leaf grants only $250,000 maximums. Actually, as I researched today, Golden Leaf has been yielding payments April 2024, $995,000 to Beach Mountain to upside stormwater infrastructure. Again, April 24, 1.5 million to Elizabeth City to restore drainage canal, 579,000 to Oak Island for a pump station and concrete pipe in reduced flood zones. In August 24, 9.6 million for 7 shell building programs. Are we looking into that as well? I'm not a grant writer. I'm not familiar with grants.
You talked to our grant writer at all?
No, this was literally homework
Because
I
the
did today.
$250,000 it was a grant, but we didn't get it because the project turned into $1 million project. So you kind of need to speak with our grant writer because she's been going for these grants and researching all this stuff. She has the ditch maintenance plan. We've been asking for money to implement the ditch maintenance plan. So, I mean, it's easy to sit back and quarterback it when you can go but there are still answers that you need. And I would suggest maybe talking to Annette because she has the whole.
I would love answers, and here's the problem, and I've asked for this last month. You give us once a quarter an opportunity to have a citizens forum where you're willing to have a volley of conversation. You're quite surprising me today, delightfully so, that you would, of course it is, that you would have conversation with me, which I appreciate.
Well, I mean, because I'm sitting here and I know that we've worked on it, so it's almost like you act like we don't know about it, but we definitely do, so, yeah. Great.
Tammy Solenberger?
Sullenberger.
Solenberger? I'm not good with names.
Almost everyone pronounces it the way you did.
Thank you.
This is actually in reference to changing the road name from Sparrow to Piper.
Right.
Sorry, can you hear me now? My only question, I could care less whether you change the name or not. How much does it cost to replace the road signs once the name is changed on the road?
That'll be answered in just a few minutes. That'll be answered in just a few minutes in the public hearing.
Yeah, that's a public hearing, so,
Yeah.
did we go to public hearing?
No, that
Okay.
may do it. Okay.
So she probably should decide.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's all I have for public comment. I need a motion to open the public hearing, resolution to approve street name change from Sparrow Road to Piper Road.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hall, second by Commissioner Sherwood. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Members. We had a resident request.
We had a resident to request the name change. She said that she had issues with getting her mail, getting EMS, we reached out to the Brunswick County GIS. They suggested, yes, go ahead and change the name because there's other roads in the county with Sparrow in it. There's not another Sparrow Road, but there are other roads. So, and that's why this is initiated by a resident, but this is why we carried forward with it and brought it before the board. I know we just ordered 2 road signs. They were $72 and some change, and that's for 2.
72 for 2?
Yes. Now that's just, and I don't know over there because these were ordered for another road here in the city. So that's what that was. And, talking to GIS and Brian Ross at the 911 center, and both Jan Clemens and Brian Ross said, yes, you need to, if possible, do this. Yeah. Now, Nicole is working on an amendment to the fee schedule because there's nothing in the fee schedule for instances such as this where there is a road change. but she is working on doing an amendment to the fee schedule for planning and zoning. So it would cover stuff like road signs and, you know, the cost of the mailing and the information that we have to get out as the zoning department.
It's what we heard last month. They were having problems with packages going to the other road and not coming to them. So, okay.
So,
Do we have to,
Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
so moved?
Have a motion by Commissioner Sherwood, have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, anybody want to make a motion?
Resolution, motion to approve resolution?
I have a motion by Commissioner Sherwood, have a second. Second by Commissioner Lovin. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. All right, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lovin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. BSL Fire and Rescue.
Mr. Mayor. Month of August, we've had a total of 43 calls, 21 of those being EMS, 22 fire. During the last concert event at the lakes, our fundraiser there, which all proceeds went to the Diaz family, it was a total of $7,500 raised to go to that family. Fire department would like to thank the community for supporting that worthy effort. Our next fundraiser, barbecue sale coming up on October the 12th. And just one item for information, the fire department with a new building, we did go to 24/7 coverage. And just to prove how beneficial that is to the city, on the last fire that we've had, which started out as a car fire, we did have crews available at the station to respond immediately. We were on scene with just in a short period of time. If we had to respond to the station and then get trucks out, we probably would have lost the structure. That just proves that us being 24/7 does work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There's nothing from community appearance. Planning board.
Wait a minute, I've got one for Community Appearance Commission.
Go ahead.
So, we had our very first, for the new Community Appearance Commission, we had our first meeting during this past month. During that meeting, we elected a chair, who is Dawn Pierce, a vice chair, who is Deborah Burris, and Kristen Cirkowitz as the secretary. We talked about expectations. We set a meeting schedule. It's going to be the third Thursday of every month at 4 p.m. And so we'll get down to business at our very next meeting, which will be, I think, in a couple of weeks. It'll be right before the next citizens forum, in fact.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Now planning board.
Hello all. The planning board had nothing on our regular agenda and spent our time discussing our current tree ordinance and how it might be strengthened. We will continue the discussion as well as beginning work to update our land use plan within the next few months. And I'm wondering if there's any grants possible for the land use plan.
Through the cog, yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Parks and Rec.
Hello. At our August meeting, we welcomed one of our new board members, Robin Balda. We'll welcome our second new board member, Christine Carter, at our next meeting. This will give us a full board going forward. I'm not sure why it says on our agenda that there's an opening. Maybe it's for the alternative.
That was before, yeah.
Okay. We'll determine our subcommittees at our next meeting. Sarah reported that the Parks and Rec Department is finally fully staffed, and it's a good thing as the attendance pretty much across the board has increased. Our senior meals had over 40 attendees, and all the planned trips are full. Although summer camp is over now, it was reported to be the best one yet. The kids and the staff just loved it. There's two new running and development programs for 3rd and 8th grade students called Girls on the Run for the girls and Let Me Run for boys. Both programs start October 1 on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4:30 to 5:45. These are running and character building development programs that culminate in a local 5K run after the training has ended. Our disc golf course is still getting rave reviews. We had a family from Seattle, Washington that said they'd played courses all over the country and that ours is one of the best they'd ever played. So that's really nice to hear. The last movie in the park was canceled due to rain, but they're going to be having them in the fall now. I don't know the exact dates of that, so check out the rec desk in the calendar for those upcoming dates. We have some upcoming events coming. The Clean Sweep is September 28th. I didn't see that on the announcements. So September 28th, come on out and help clean up the town. Trunk or Treat is October 31st, right on Halloween. Railroad to the Holidays is November 23rd. And Pancake Breakfast is on December 7th.
Thank you. Special Events Committee.
Good evening. Our rain-delayed Mayor's Cup golf tournament was held on August 24th. First, I apologize. I can't hear. I have two clogged ears. As you know, I lost my voice at the golf tournament also. Although our attendance was down from last year, we had a good turnout and the weather was awesome. Our 50-50 raffle as well as our tea sign sales were very successful this year, which also allows us to now purchase new attire for our team. We want to thank the Lakes once again for hosting the event and providing drinks along the course, as well as the hot dogs and trimmings for the golfers after the event. We are now working on our fall festival, which will be held Saturday, October 19th on the grounds of the community center. Flyers are already up on Facebook. We'll be distributing them around town soon. We are actively seeking right now, we need scary scenes for the haunted trail. We do have about 5 of them, fire department, police department, some local friends, but we need more. There will be a $300 prize for the best scene. So we're hoping to make this the best haunted trail walk yet. And if anybody knows of anyone, please have them contact me on my cell phone number. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Library Commission.
Well, our Library Commission worked on our project list that seems to keep getting longer and longer. We have canceled our next month meeting and later in the month, we are doing a workshop to work on LaBib, which is our checkout system for our library and our inventory listing. We want all of our members to be familiar with it so that when we get into our new facility, we'll be able to handle the inventory and our patrons as far as checking books in and out. I was able to do a little walkthrough with the architect or the engineer in order to see what needs to be done in our little area. So,
Thank you. Okay, we have nothing from the grants. City Manager.
Okay, so I want to speak a little bit tonight about the sewer expansion. Wanted to give an update on the work city staff has been doing on the sewer expansion. While our original thought was to do this project in multiple stages, the general consensus, if it's satisfactory with the board, is to stick to the original concept of 2 distinct phases. The first phase, recommended phase, is transmission system upgrades to the pump station at Cougar Road and the construction of the northern regional pump station and a associated 12-inch force main connected to the existing transmission force main at Cougar Road. This initial phase of the transmission system will allow the low-pressure sewer collection system to be fully constructed and provide transmission capacity for 100% of the city's existing residents and 50% of the lots that are buildable here in the community. The second phase could include a new 12-inch parallel to the existing 8-inch force main from Cougar Road to North Carolina 133, a new 12-inch force main from 133 to Southport Crossing Pump Station, and 211 force main upgrades. So when we first started looking at this project in 2020, the cost of this, I believe it was $10 million for the transmission system build out, and approximately, I think it was 35 million. I think it was $25–30 million for the collection system. Since then, we've seen average cost of these type projects have increased to 75%. So now we're looking at a $17.5 million cost for the transmission system and the $60.4 million for the collection system. So one of the things the board tasked us to do was to come up with a figure that we could start looking to apply for grants with DEQ, USDA, work with our local representatives to see if we could get some money appropriated from the General Assembly. So what we're looking at for this particular project is a rough order of magnitude of about $78 million to get sewer here in the city of Bowling Spring Lakes. It's important to keep in mind that this does not include the cost of what the county would charge us to treat this sewer flow because it's based on capacity. If their current system has the capacity to accept it, there will be a per gallon charge with that. If it doesn't, then the BSL will be responsible for paying for an expansion of one of the existing sewer treatment plants. So this is a large project. We've been working diligently on it. It's got a lot of moving pieces that we're going to continue to move forward on. But that's what we're looking at is about $78 million to make that happen. The second thing I'd like to talk to you tonight is an update on East Bowling Spring Road. If you remember correctly, several months ago, I spoke to you and communicated to you that we were looking at an October date of that road being paved, contingent on the weather. Well, guess what? Weather happened. Tropical storm happened. And we suffered some damages to Pine Lake Dam, not so much to North Lake Dam and Upper Lake Dam, but we did suffer some damage to Pine Lake Dam and Sanford Dam. Due to the logistics of the Sanford Dam project, most of the contractors' efforts have been regaining what was lost over there. We did lose our diversion ditch or the liner to the diversion ditch, which allowed some scouring of that channel and some damage. We lost some of our dirt that we were going to be reusing. How much that is, we don't really know right at this point. There was also some damage to the outflow into Allen Creek. So it was really important that we got that under control, and that's why you've not seen any progress being made at the damage that was at Pine Lake. The good news is it hasn't really set us back more than about 30 to 45 days. But the road will not open up in October. They're looking to lay asphalt sometime at the beginning of December, and I will keep you posted on that. As long as we don't have any more weather. If we have more weather that continues to do damage, well, it's just going to put the project even further behind. The good news is when we look at the entire project of rebuilding all 4 dams, it is still significantly ahead of schedule. So we're very fortunate. Please be patient. We can't control Mother Nature. And so that's really just the way it is. At last month's meeting, I talked to the board about some of our stormwater issues and the ditching and some of the problems that we have extended pieces of tile that run underground that we really have no way of knowing what shape it's in, what's in it. And one of the things, and we're not 100% sure that they're not clogged. Not only those roadway tiles, but driveway tiles. And anytime we have a clog, it interferes with our stormwater system. And so you asked me to look to the cost of a jetter, which is a jet vac machine, which is a machine that goes in and cleans those tiles out. I have done that, and it's through the jet vac of the Carolinas. They have a state contract already on board with the state of North Carolina, and a jetting machine is $128,348. Currently, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, we're sitting about $250,000 in our power bill that could be used for that funding. I think this would prove a valuable asset to the city. However, it's not going to solve our entire stormwater problem. The only thing that's going to solve our stormwater problem is money. We have to have money to start implementing the stormwater plan. It's as simple as that. If we don't have the money, we can't implement it. That's why in our grants committee, which I sit on with our assistant city manager and Commissioner Sherwood, we are constantly looking for grant money for stormwater. My recommendation at this point is we've done a lot of work between last meeting and this meeting in our stormwater ditches. I've been out there personally supervising it and directing what I want done. And before we make this expenditure, I think we should wait and see what happens with our next significant rainstorm to see where we're at, see how our water flows, and if any of the things that we've done, because some of the areas that we have been looking at and concentrating on, we've been doing so by what's in our Sungate stormwater plan. So I think we just need to toe the line right now, hold on before we make that decision to make that expenditure.
Didn't we drop the Suchak project because that was determined to be able to be done by our own people?
I think the Suchak was dropped simply because there was not enough evidence that it was going to impact a significant amount of people.
So Redwood is still viable, it's $1 million now.
Redwood's still valuable, and really that's one of the most pressing projects in the city. I mean, I was out there 4 or 5 times during Tropical Storm Debbie, and it's bad over there.
We got a lot of pictures.
We've got a lot of pictures, but we've also been working with our consulting engineer, Alex Lipinski. We've identified some things that, while it's not going to make it perfect, we think that and I've already worked with Aaron on and instructed him on what we want to do. We think it will help flooding over in that area. It's not going to stop it, but it will help it. So, but that is still a viable project. Not secondly, but the last thing I want to talk to you about is we bought some land back behind the Public Services Building several months ago for a safety reason, and we've had some difficulty getting a surveyor to come out and survey it for us. We finally had that happen. That's been done. We've identified our corners, so we will be going in and building a road to the backside of Public Services and starting that improving the safety for those folks that have to use that road. And unless y'all have any questions, that's all I have for you this evening. Oh, wait a minute. I got some pictures I'll show you. So the first picture there, you're seeing the contract to repair the erosion reels on Sanford Dam post-Tropical Storm Debbie. In case you're wondering what a reel is if you'll see to the side the track marks on the slope, the erosion are those little channels that are, a reel is the little channel that as it runs off the top and runs down onto the sides, that is called an erosion reel. So he's back in there, and that'll obviously weaken the coffer dams. So he's been back in there repacking that and repairing those. You can see the big 12-inch pump at the Sanford Dam bypass. They had 3 of those things working to dry that spot out. The North Lake Spillway inlet stem and formwork, it's coming along really well. Then you can also look at the low-level drain form. The upper dam, what you're seeing there is that red pile of dirt is their stockpiling material at the spillway. Why that's important is because they're using that dirt to backfill that dam site, which basically means that dam is almost complete.
Did I get that? You did that, right? You
That's
got
it.
The second one, okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I didn't do it too fast for you.
New business. Ordinance to amend Chapter 9, Article 1 and 2, Section 9.4, 9.8, and 9.31 of the City Code of Ordinance.
This is, some of it is grammatical. That's all right, I'm sorry. Grammatical errors, there's a new addition in some of it, and then there is the, updating of a definition as well. Okay,
Can I get a motion?
I would,
All right, go ahead.
discussion, for 9.9-8, chronic violators, where it says the city, if the city gave notice of violation at least 3 times under the provisions of this chapter, I'd like to see that 2 instead of 3. I don't know why somebody would have to complain about nuisance properties 3 times before we take action. Is that one, and then the way it's worded, the cars, it says a vehicle that does not display a current license plate and is partially dismantled or wrecked, cannot propel itself, more than 5 years old, or appears to be worth less than $100. I'd like that "and" to be "or."
Or,
Yeah, because then it just makes it a little bit easier. So that's just the 2. I'll make that motion, or amend.
can,
say something?
Yes.
go ahead, yeah.
Well, you're coming from the general statutes of that in accordance to, that's where that 3 is coming
Yeah,
from.
I figured, but I don't think we have to follow that.
State, is that coming from state? Yeah, we can't be less stringent than state.
You sure?
Yes,
Yes.
positive.
Okay.
You can be
You
more,
can be stronger,
can't
but
be
you can't be
less.
less.
Stronger is 2.
Yeah. You want to check, can we check into that to make sure we can do that before we?
I will check with Nicole.
Yeah, because 3 seems
Yeah.
excessive for,
And
if you
bring
got,
this back.
you know.
Yeah, but check to see if we can do that, because state's so funny sometimes.
Yeah, we'll just do a motion to table it until next month. How about that?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
table,
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
has consensus of it?
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I'm totally.
You still need a motion.
I'll do it, yeah, do a motion to table it.
So moved.
All right, have a motion by Commissioner Levin, second by Commissioner Sherwood, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, there you go. Inclusive playground location.
That's me. So, and I'll just read this to you. The City of Southport sponsored a regional managers meeting to discuss possible locations for a regional inclusive playground. Those in attendance included the Oak Island interim town manager, Bald Head Island town manager, Caswell Beach town manager, Brunswick County manager, myself, and the Southport city manager. Potential locations were discussed to include Smithfield District Park, Bill Smith Park, and Taylor Field Park in Southport. Caswell Beach and Bald Head does not have enough open space to accommodate a playground of this size. City Manager Terrell of Southport inquired if BSL would have a location to accommodate an inclusive playground, and if so, would the city be interested in supporting the idea? So I told him that I would bring this back to the Board of Commissioners. That wasn't a decision for me to make. I was 100% sure, though, that we didn't have the funds to build it. So it is looking like that the park would be built using 100% grant funding. However, there would be an increase in insurance costs for an inclusive playground if we were to have one here at the city. So I reached out to Parks and Recreation Director Sarah Goodwin, and she said that currently we have a few pieces of equipment that are inclusive at Muse Park. If the Board of Commissioners were interested in supporting an inclusive playground in the city, then the most logical choice would be to move the existing structures from Muse Park and to relocate to Spring Lake Park in the grassy area by Shelter 2. That is the beach side of Spring Lake Park. Then make Muse Park, which is our most used park, the one with the inclusive playground for kids and adults. Now, the inclusive playground is a playground that can accommodate all folks, missing limbs, developmentally challenged. It's just, it's a playground that everybody can use. So they're waiting on the answer if that's something that we would be interested in. I told him that I would speak to y'all about it at tonight's meeting. If that's something that you would support, I will let them know. I will let you know that Smithfield Park, just down the road here, already has an inclusive playground that County Manager Stone has said that they would be willing to allow to be expanded. However, the county does not want to invest any funds in it at this point either.
What grant were you speaking of? It says.
It's Southport. They're going to do all the grant writing.
So,
They've got a grant in mind that they're just sitting on go with right now.
so the playground that we just built in the last 3 or 4 years, all those shelters would be moved? Is that what we're talking about? The canopies and,
I'm sorry, I can't answer that, Commissioner Mamay.
okay.
Muse Park was a huge project out there.
Yeah, it was $350,000 project.
And it was grant funded.
And it is very busy all the time.
What about Schneider's Park?
That's your guys.
That's not by the water. I mean, we're talking about where we do the late concerts and stuff.
Yeah,
currently.
I read that, and I think Sarah probably was just trying to offer something, but, I
Well, we
don't
do
know that.
currently have a park, we have Schneider's Park,
There's
that
plenty of room at the
has
commission.
space that would be accessible for the city to have an inclusive park over there that's not by the water. Something to think about, like a different area besides Spring Lake.
No, they're talking about doing the inclusive over here.
So
Yeah, but if we're moving equipment, she's talking about moving the equipment to Spring Lake Park, where the shelters are.
Hmm.
There's a lot of room at the community center still.
David, are you talking about the structures at Muse Park?
Yes.
Yeah, she said move everything to Spring Lake Park and then build the.
That's a major, that is no minor, that is huge.
Really, I mean, they put in a
Those
lot of
things,
work. to
those
do
are in 5 foot by 5 foot concrete, 5 foot deep. That is not something you just dig up and move.
But I wonder if we
It's not big enough.
left
but-
Muse Park alone and looked at Schneider's Park in order to put something inclusive
How
there.
big is Schneider Park? How many acres?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I mean, it's a
Big.
pretty decent parcel on that side of the.
I think.
What's our timeline?
I think if the board is interested in hosting a inclusive playground, we don't have to make a decision right now where it goes. We can just let them know that, yes, we're agreeable to having conversation
it would be wonderful
about
to
having
have
a park here.
A park
And
that
they
all
everybody
interested?
could play
Can
at.
we find out about the cost of the insurance,
Bullhead Island is pushing it.
give or take?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I mean, I would definitely want to hear from the public as well and get their input.
We don't have a whole lot of inclusive parks within Brunswick County.
This is a true statement.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids with disabilities and parents that have children with disabilities that aren't able to go to these parks because their child may be in a wheelchair or may have some issue where they're not able to climb stairs and things.
And we have a lot of other properties in the city too,
Yeah.
as well.
Well, the
I
community
don't think that
center,
we would
like I've said
necessarily
100
have to
times, is
disturb
plenty of
this
room
park.
there.
I think that we're,
Plenty of room at the community center,
there's
and
other
we can only
places
use
we
that
could
for
look at
recreation.
besides disrupting this park.
I mean, I think we're very interested.
So can I communicate to the Southport City Manager that you're interested in having discussions about having an inclusive playground here? We're not committing to a location.
Right.
And in the interim, I'll have Brandon reach out to the League of Municipalities and inquire about the cost of insurance for something like that.
Gordon, did they all sound interested, even like Boghead Island, places like that? That's a long way.
They all support a regional inclusive playground, and I'm just gonna stop there.
Yeah.
Support may be limited.
Well, they'll have to pay for like maintenance and that kind of stuff. Have to be a memorandum of understanding, so to speak, I would think. No comment?
I just want to be inclusive to all kids within our county.
Yeah.
If we have to be the host site, so be it, but that's not fair to them not to be able to go to a park because
mean,
nobody wants to build one.
And it's a draw to the city.
It's not a problem that nobody wants to build one, Commissioner Hall. That's not the problem.
Well,
They don't want to host it.
they don't want to
I
fund
didn't
it.
say that.
They don't want to fund it.
No, it's because if it's 100% grant funded, it's not gonna be a cost to anyone except for the
Insurance
insurance.
is
Yeah,
that is funding.
That's
I mean,
not
that's a
that, the
yearly.
insurance ain't that much.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that much. And I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, we need to,
That's not the issue.
yeah, you don't wanna go down that.
Yeah.
Well, I have plenty to say about it, I'm just not.
I'm in
But I do
favor of
agree
it.
that
I think it's a good idea for us to move forward,
With
to
conversation.
explore it, and maybe we might even get some property donated in the city to give it a nice location that we don't currently have. Somebody might be willing to donate some property or something to do one. You know, cause that's you know, have a park in their name or something for a handicap.
Yeah, there's nothing for ADA.
Yeah.
I think. So it's okay if I communicate to the city manager that
Look
we're
at it,
willing
yeah.
to support, that we're willing to look into it?
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. One appointment to the Community Appearance Commission to be completed an unexpired term ending July 2nd, 2028. We have two applicants, Christy Bice and Donna Knight. Any motions?
I'll motion to appoint Christy Bias.
I have a motion for Christy Bice by Commissioner Sherwood. Have a second? I'll give you a second. I have a second by Commissioner Mamray. All in favor, say aye.
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 No. I said no.
Chickens, no.
Forward.
My vote was
Okay.
for Donna Marie.
Mayor and Commissioner reports. I'll start with you.
I wanted to bring up, I think everybody knows about this, there's just been so much petty theft going on in the community lately, and, poor Brenda with her golf balls, it's all over, and I don't know whether it's young kids or older people or what's going on, but it seems like they're just sneaking around at night, and I just hear more and more about it, so, I'd like to ask, does the police department sponsor the community watch things? Is that more of a community thing?
There
'Cause where I
are
was-
certain guidelines that have to be met with the state of North Carolina, and you have to apply
Uh-huh.
to be able to participate.
So could y'all sponsor that or help people?
We could, I have to look into it.
Yeah, that was just an idea, because it just seems like it's mischievous. Not really, it's bad, I mean, major stuff, it's just all
I would just
over.
encourage anybody that's having those types of problems
Yeah,
to,
make sure.
other than posting on Facebook, to actually report it.
Yep.
So that we actually are aware and be able to do something about it.
Yeah, that, and everybody knows that 133 is going to be detoured through us pretty soon, and it's gonna get ugly. So just everybody to know that it's probably gonna be a month there where it's gonna be miserable, but then once East Bowling Spring opens, it should help a little bit. And this clear cutting coming into the city is killing me. Just want to say that. That's all.
Commissioner Mamray. I really wanted to thank our city staff for their work during the storm. I know that Gordon and Aaron and a lot of the guys, they were out there and trouncing through the water and checking everything. I know that from talking to them quite a few times during the storm, and I just want to say they did a great job of managing it and working on, fixing the things that they could fix at the time. I think overall, we managed the storm as well as possible, considering the amount of rain that we had in a short period of time. But y'all did a great job doing that. Commissioner Hall.
No, like I appreciate everybody coming together during those storms, and it was really great to see everybody out at the Mayor's Cup, even though it was rescheduled. It was a beautiful day. A lot of happy campers out there. The concerts have been going really well. It's just nice to see our community coming together.
So we'll have a new citizen to the world here in a couple of weeks. So new citizen to BSL. So we're excited. We're nervous. But we live in a great area. So we're right where we're supposed to be, and I'm happy for that. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and we'll let y'all know what happens in the next few weeks. We have an early arrival. That's all I got.
Well, I got a couple of things I want to go over. I thank Roger Dutton with the Lakes Golf Course for putting on the Mayor's Cup and allow it to be held there. The Special Events Committee, another great job. Thank y'all very much. It was a huge turnout, and it was actually a nice day. So thank y'all for everything you do. We met, Gordon and myself met with Senator Ted Budd's rep. They wanted to come meet with us. It's a new rep that's in the area. And we went over a few things that's pressing with the city. We touched base with them about how Florence really devastated the city, devastated the fund balance, and the things we're looking at as far as infrastructure for our sewer and for Highway 87 out here. So we laid out a list to them what we'd like to see if we could get funding from the infrastructure bill that passed a few years back. So they've got that on their plate, but we also learned at the same time, they actually have a group that works in their office that looks for grants that the city may be interested in. So all we have to do is send them a list of what we're looking for, how much money we need, and they'll actually do the work to try to find the grants for us. So that was a good meeting we had with them. We actually have a meeting tomorrow with Representative Rouser's person, and Chance is going to be here to meet with us about the same thing because we're still trying to get as much money as we can from whoever we can. So we got that meeting tomorrow. And you remember last month we were sitting here talking about $300,000 for turn lanes that the state wanted us to come up with. Well, again, thank you to Representative Charlie Miller, Senator Rayburn. They came up with the money for us. So again, they stepped up to the plate to help out the city for some needs we have here. And they really do a good job looking after us, working together as a partner to get things done. And I'm very appreciative of their efforts. So we got lucky on that one. The other thing is, address something you was talking about. DEQ requires, if a city's gonna go after a grant, that they must have a plan and they must adopt that plan, because they will not work with many cities that do not have a plan that has not been adopted. So that's why the reason was we adopted that plan to be able to have it out in the open so we could actually go for grants for DEQ. And they also can help us look for grants once the city adopts it. So that's the one reason why we did adopt the plan. It's just inflation killed us on some of the grants we had went after. That once was maybe $250,000 sprung to $1 million, and we could not afford to do that. So inflation's not, it's hurting everybody. It's hurting our efforts, it's hurting everybody that's trying to get food or anything. So that's why we still have the grants committee, which we put in effect a little over 2.5 years ago.
We brought in, what, 30 million? We brought in.
Yeah, brought in a lot of money. The whole object of it was we wanted to find money for roads, for stormwater, and the dams. And we still haven't stopped on the stormwater. It's just everybody competes for a grant. Every city in North Carolina competes for that grant. And if it's a federal grant, you got everybody in the United States compete for those grants. So if you get a grant this year, you're not guaranteed to get a grant next year. So it's a very tough road out there trying to get the money, but we don't stop with the grants committee and we don't stop with anything else we're doing. So that was just the reason why we adopted that plan. So we could actually have it say we do have a plan, and so we can go after the grants. And that is all I have. All right.
next citizens forum?
Next citizens forum is scheduled for Thursday, September 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Our next meeting will take place Tuesday, October 1st, 2024 at 6:30. The Fall Festival will be held on Saturday, October 19th, 2024 from 5 to 8 p.m. Trunk or treat will be held on Thursday, October 31st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. at the Community Center. Railroad to the holiday events will take place at the Community Center on Saturday, November 23rd, 2024 from 5 to 8 p.m. And the following openings on the following committees, we said Parks and Rec was full, and the only one we have is the Library Commission and Grants Committee. Visit our city website for further information. And that is all we have. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Sherwood. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank y'all.